Hello everyone, now you will hear a short retelling of the film North. Enjoy watching. The couple are chatting at the dinner table and completely ignore their 11-year-old son, North. The boy tries to attract the attention of his parents, but nothing comes of it, and North almost had a heart attack. It was his parents who ruined his perfect life. He knew the answers to all the questions in the lessons, was an excellent athlete, and even wrote arias for the theater and performed them personally. It was an outstanding year. But North's parents didn't appreciate it at all. They continued to talk only about their own affairs and problems. When they finally shut up, North had the opportunity to complain about the school bully. But his father opened his mouth again, and North's heart almost burst. This attitude of his parents began to affect his success in school. He makes useless projects, forgets the text of the play, and harms the baseball team. North wonders why everyone except his parents appreciates him. The most valuable player of the season left the field and went to his secret hideout, which turned out to be a hefty shopping mall. North sat down in a leather armchair and wondered why his parents didn't like him. Immediately, a pink Easter bunny approached him. He's on a break from work, and he'll be interested to hear the kid's story. A boy complains to a carrot-nibbling man that his parents are selfish. They don't realize how nice he is. Other parents always set him up as an example for their children. The rabbit grins. Many children feel that they are being underestimated, but they don't choose their parents, and North can't do anything about it. Before returning to his job, Rabbit advised the guy to go home and make peace with his parents. However, North thought about it and turned to his friend Winchell, the editor of the school newspaper, for advice. Together they decided that our hero urgently needed new parents. But North first decided to give his last chance. He called his mom, but she was busy and didn't even pick up the phone. Dad answered the phone, but he didn't listen anyway and rescheduled the conversation for dinner. North became more determined to change his family, and Winchell had already published the news in the newspaper. The business kid also advised North to hire a lawyer, Arthur Belt, and the lawyer found the boy himself. North decided to challenge the idea of family in its usual sense. It immediately paid off. The children have become more confident with their parents, and even threatened to hire Arthur Belt as well. But North's parents were so shocked by this news that they were even stunned. Reporters now don't leave North alone for a second, and on the advice of a lawyer, he refrains from answering even in class. The day of judgment has arrived. The parents never came out because of their stupor. The eccentric judge decided that parents who sleep right during the trial do not deserve to have such a wonderful son like North. He ruled in favor of the plaintiff. North is now a completely free man. However, there is a condition. The boy must find new parents before the start of the school year. Otherwise, he will have to return to his own people. But if this does not happen by the end of the term, North will be sent to an orphanage. Potential parents are cutting off phone lines, and the lawyer's office is littered with sacks of letters. North can travel anywhere in the world first class, but he needs to choose his family very carefully. The first stop is Texas. At the airport, he was met by a couple in a horned car. The limo of the rich Texans turned out to be just as horned. They love the biggest and the best. That's why they wanted North, because he's the best. They own vast territories, oil rigs, and the baseball team that North has been given right now. Suddenly, North saw a guy from the mall. Only here he is no longer a rabbit, but a cool cowboy. The Easter Bunny. Be careful, son. Gabby killed people for less. In the huge dining room, North was served a huge portion of food. They feed him here all the time. Texans love the biggest and the best. North is already the best. It remains to make it the largest. Then he'll look like their first son, Buck, the biggest boy in Texas. He ate as much in a day as an ordinary person eats in a month. It's a pity he was trampled by a herd of cows. At sunset, North became sad. A cowboy will help him sort out his thoughts. The boy does not like the fact that he will live in the shadow of the first son of this family. He doesn't want to be compared to anyone else, and he doesn't want to become someone else. Therefore, North will continue to look for new parents. At parting, the cowboy presented the kid with a bullet-riddled coin. Meanwhile, Winchell started a campaign against his parents. He has united around him children who no longer want to obey their ancestors. Their interests are represented by Arthur Belt. North arrived in Hawaii. He's being treated like a king. After all, he can become the governor's son. North is entertained all day. He also learns that he can easily enroll in any university. The fact is that they have only 12 letters in the alphabet on the islands, and B, C, D, and F. are not among them. This means that he will always get only an A, that is, the highest score. Hawaii has a fertile land. There is only one barren place here, the governor's wife. Therefore, they hope that North will become their firstborn. In the evening, the governor presents the boy to tourists and residents of the island. He hopes that North will become a symbol of the state. And then a billboard was presented, which depicts North with a bare ass. There will be such ads at every airport and along every highway. The locals don't like that their staff doesn't take them seriously and only comes on vacation. And if North lives here, then the rest of the Americans will settle in Hawaii more willingly. However, North is not going to trade his ass. It turns out that it's just being used. On the beach, North met the mysterious man again. This time he's a tourist with a metal detector. And he believes that parents should make the child feel good, not the other way around. Therefore, without thinking twice, North went to cold Alaska. Winchell continues the revolution he started, and children everywhere are blackmailing their parents. From now on, adults are prohibited from watching movies under 16 without children. They are brought to such a nervous state that 70% of them are ready to vote for the one their children point to. This means that the belt will be able to become president for itself. North liked Alaska. It's beautiful and the air is clean. An Eskimo family lives in a technological igloo. They're treating North to popsicles. They fish sitting right on the chairs. Alaska has the best Christmas ever. The day here lasts for months, so the gifts are open for 3 weeks. Then what are the disadvantages? The boy wondered. There are none. All they need is for North to pursue his dream. But then the Eskimos got ready to go somewhere and invited their grandfather with them. When an Eskimo becomes too old or weak, and therefore useless to society, he is led to the ocean. A proud Eskimo swims away on an ice floe and dies alone in the middle of the ocean, knowing that he didn't have long to communicate with his grandfather. North listened attentively to everything the old man told him on the way to the ice floe. Getting rid of the elderly is on stream. Someone gets an ice floe with amenities. This Eskimo grandfather only had a stool. The policy about old people will change, find me. This time, the guy from the mall was driving a team of horses. A kid doesn't even expect such game from his parents. They would have taken care of grandpa. In general, everything is clear with these two, and North hurried to the airport. His parents hadn't called him for 2 months, but they basically didn't do much. After all, the couple had not come out of their coma for 72 days. As a medical miracle, they were placed in one of the universities, and Winchell would do everything in his power to ensure that they never woke up. For the next 8 days, which North had set aside to find new parents, North's next stop was the Amish community. All 3 of his potential brothers are called Ezekieli. North didn't think long. Take off. North decided not to limit himself to the United States and went to China. There he can establish a new North dynasty. But the threat of wearing an imperial hairstyle drove the boy further. In Zaire, of course, everyone moves on vines and women walk topless. North stared at his African mom's breasts, and he decided that with such a fashion, he would definitely drop out of school. In France, everyone wears berets, drinks, smokes, and watches dumb comedies all day. 3 days before the deadline, North met with the last couple of parents. And this is the perfect family. Friendly mom and dad, 2 kids and a dog. At the same time, thousands of angry parents are voting against lowering the voting age to 7 years. North's parents began to slowly come back to life. After a while, they finally woke up, and the first thing they asked was where their son was. Winchell's man promised to take them to him, and their place behind the glass was taken by doppelgangers. Everything is according to the Xerox operation. North is playing with the Nelsons in the yard. The children persuade him to stay, and his real parents are recording an apology video. Winchell handles them, and she says that if North doesn't come back, they can adopt another boy. They answer that they don't need any boy. They need their North. These words were also written down. The evening with the Nelsons is spent playing board games. The bully brought them a tape for North with a message from his parents, but the editors have already worked on it. Mom and dad allegedly don't want to see their son. They don't need him. Well, then North will stay with the Nelsons. And even though he felt loved and protected now, something was still wrong. Therefore, North decided to be alone and think about everything carefully. After saying goodbye to the Nelsons, he went to New York. The boy will try to get lost in the crowd so that he will not be found and sent to an orphanage. Winchell came up with a devious plan. He's going to turn North into a martyr to strengthen his political movement. He will be killed allegedly by one of the parents, whose role will be played by Winchell's mercenary. He tried to shoot North, but the guy managed to escape. Adam, his classmate, was waiting for him in North's park at night. He handed over the tape with the real recording so that the kid would know the truth. Adam helps him because Winchell has gone too far, and North has always treated him well. The mercenary tracked North down again and opened fire. The guy managed to escape in a truck. The man found North's blood-stained cap, but in fact it was smeared with borscht, which was transported in boxes. North found himself inside a restaurant where a comedian and his old friend Rabbit were performing. After the performance, he just wanted to try out his new video recorder. North watched an unedited recording of his parents asking for another chance. In the end, North came to the conclusion that there was probably something wrong with him, since he had traveled all over the world, but had not found suitable parents. The rabbit remembered a saying about this. A chickadee in your hand is always greener than the grass under your neighbor's feet. North immediately hurried back to his parents, but it took too long to get to the airport, so the guy offered him a ride. However, they refused to sell North a ticket there, because the article says that he is dead. Passengers may panic. Some kids saw him right there. They realized that North was heading home, which meant he could ruin everything for them. A chase began for the kid. He was saved by a postal service employee, who of course turned out to be a rabbit. He is ready to help North get home in the form of a package. Meanwhile, the shooter learns what borscht is, and that it was the boy's cap that was smeared with it. The package was delivered to North's house, but Winchell was already waiting for him there. He tells North that his parents are waiting for him at the mall. He only has 6 minutes left. North is running as fast as he can. His parents are also looking forward to meeting him. They saw each other in the furniture department, but there was also a mercenary sitting there. He took aim and fired. And then North woke up. He just dozed off in a comfortable armchair, and he dreamed it all. But even in real life, the rabbit volunteered to help him and give him a ride home. The boy found the bullet-riddled coin in his pocket. However, this is his old mascot. At parting, the man reminded North that there is no place like home. The excited parents hugged their son. They worried and searched for him all day. After all, they love him very much.